What is community cohesion? What does it look like? And how do school partnerships help? To find out, we visited a cluster of schools in Hampshire.
It isn't an incredibly diverse place. There isn't a rich variety of cultural experiences and languages immediately within the school itself. So to be proactive in trying to seek those opportunities is really, I think, the natural way forward.
There are changes and other cultures coming in, so the children are beginning to experience that change already. And if we don't give them the tools to cope with that change and to question and to come up with their own ideas, then we'd be failing them, really.
It became more important under the new regime of community cohesion to try and give the children the opportunity to see other communities and other environments in which they live as well. So that was one of the reasons we entered the project.
Over the last 3 years, Newlands, Charles Kingsley's and Hawley primary schools have made links with schools in Africa. They've exchanged staff and opened up communications between pupils about their learning and their communities.
Since I've been on the visit, the two groups of children that I've had since, they've had a really different point of view because I've been able to give them information, I've shared my photographs, we've made links with the school in Kenya. I think the community cohesion aspect of the project has been invaluable when you can mix with the other pupils in the other schools in Yateley that we've had links with. And that's really, really important because they're mixing with children that are immediately within their community. And until they've got those skills, it's very difficult for them to understand networks and relationships that people have in the wider and global community.
Where do we see unity in our community? And where can we see an example of schools working together? This should be an easy one.
Here?
Here, yeah, absolutely. So today, you're working together, aren't you?
The aim of the activity was to integrate 3 schools who'd been working closely together for a while now. Out of the activity, we really wanted to try and get the children to express their understanding of unity.
Okay, so what I'd like you to do is you're going to take it in turns and you're going to show the people in your group your one picture.
To start with the activity, the children obviously had their own photograph purposefully to help them unwind a bit and to talk to each other and get to know each other, which really worked. And it also gave them their ideas for their Canvas stimulus.
I chose it because it's like two worlds being like blended together and working together.
And what about this background? What's going to happen? What might be there?
Well, you've got nature down there as well, people, community. So thinking of representing as much as you can. And put lots of ideas down, as many as you can, and before we start using colour.
I think they found it quite difficult to start with. I think they found it quite difficult to open up to each other and to be able to have that relaxed communication. Interestingly, after play, once they'd had a time to be out on the playground outside of a classroom, they came back different. They came back quite happy with each other, they were quite tight in their groups, and they were really sharing ideas, and you cut this out and you paint that, and what if we did this, and they were really communicating well with each other.
Well, I think it's two people making a heart shape with their hands, as in unity.
Children make the most progress when they're working together on something that they find just that bit too tricky for them. And the children here, the children with Hawley, Charles Kingsley, they've had those opportunities to be engaged in things that are maybe just a bit beyond as far as they'd naturally push themselves, and some of the results have been quite fantastic.
This is like the Britain flag, and I think this bit in the middle is like the middle of the Kenyan flag, and it's got the South African one in the middle. Okay. It looks like the candles are all shapes and different sizes. So it doesn't matter if you're big or small or anything, that you can be united.
Okay, is that what that was supposed to represent, this group? Brilliant, well done, you got your message across well, didn't you?
I've seen lots of reflection where you've gone, oh, no, let's not put that there, let's put this here. You've really worked hard, guys, so well done. Thank you.
With the international schools, it helped the children to address some of their stereotypes that they had perceived. It's very interesting reflecting 3 years on with the children what they've learned about the stereotypes.
We didn't know much about them. When we first saw that video, we were kind of, what is this? And now, when we've seen it quite a few times, and we've been to Kenya and back, we actually know what sort of things they do.
Everybody thought it was very poor country, very hot, loads of mosquitoes and bad things happening. And then we got to know them, and they were very happy, and they didn't... Some of them are in poverty, but some of them are having a great like us. They don't have the facilities like us, but they're people like us. They're not aliens or anything.
Before, I used to kind of think about just this country and about the people who live in this country, and not what other people do in different countries.
OK. The box project came about as a result of thinking about a way that we could present what we had achieved over the 3 years. What I was interested in is whether or not the children would pick up on the idea of the school values, the cornerstone values and so on, which was very interesting because they took this home as an open piece of homework to find an object and to think of a caption they could put with the object that would describe what Charles Kingsley's school meant to them, to be a puzzle for the school in Kenya, whether they could guess really what they meant by the object or whether they would come up with a different interpretation of it.
Sometimes on a whiteboard you don't decide properly on your work because you might make mistakes.
OK, and if we're sending this to Kenya, what do you think they will think of a whiteboard? What I didn't want them thinking was it needed to be a school value or that it needed to be something that the Kenyans would know what it was. But it did need to be small enough to be posted, not precious enough that it couldn't be left behind, and it did need to be something that would make the children in Kenya understand a little bit more about the school.
I'm putting in this broken globe that I have fixed because it represents that in CKS, if something gets broken, we can fix things in CKS if we all work together.
Children, there's nothing else that I can say. That was absolutely splendid. Your ideas have been incredibly touching. Let's send our Kenyan basket our very special, sparkly good wishes. 3, 2, 1.
We've come from Birmingham and we set off this morning about 7:30 with 11 children, and they've come today to enjoy the experience of coming to a different school in a completely different part of the country. They're used to a Birmingham school, which is an inner city school, and it's really fascinating for them and exciting for them to come to somewhere like the Newlands to find out how they themselves share similar interests in Africa, similar interests in promoting global awareness around the world and having a dialogue together about community cohesion.
I now need to find a girl who loves computers. Do you like computers? Yeah.
Having links with our Birmingham school has been really, really useful as well. It's developed the children's thinking. For the first time today, we've actually met the pupils, and it was just so wonderful, you know, a real buzz around the school. The pupils have enjoyed it, the staff did, and I think that, you know, same can be said for pupils at Newlands and at the Birmingham school. It's a very diverse school, it's very different to the school we have at Newlands, a great range of ethnicity, which is just wonderful for the pupils to see. And I think the children today, when they met for the first time, they welcomed that and they saw each other as equals. There was no segregation at all. Children joined together for lunch, out on the playground, and interacted really, really, really well.
Yeah, I like the doing bit best of science because it's better than actually listening to what the teacher says, because you get to do things and you get to experience what happens.
It's a hard approach, it's a hard way in. to say, can we link with you because we're diverse, or because you're diverse and perhaps we're not. It seems like there's an awkward gap to bridge, and actually the link with Birchfield was the head teacher was very passionate about the rights, respects, responsibility of the UN Convention on the Rights of the Child, and that as an ethos. So at the heart of each of our schools was something very, very similar. So there's a real exchange, and today was about the connection, the relationship side of things, to make it personal and personalised. Addressing this idea of UK cohesion.
In a world of stories, there are tales to be told. In a world of stories, there are too many even for this tent to hold. In a world of stories, some are sad, but most are fun. And now, my world of stories has begun.
From observing the day, the children, you know, they were on their best behaviour, but they were enjoying themselves. It wasn't an effort to them. They were impressed with their school, they were proud to show the children around and have a buddy for the day, and they enjoyed having them as part of their learning.
We've had a fabulous day, haven't we, children?
Yes.
And they've made some really good friendships. So if you were a buddy, can you put your hand up? You have been fabulous buddies, and thank you very much for making us feel so welcome.
The whole school, they're all like a community, and they're all friends. They don't have like friends, they all work together, they're friendly.
They're a lot more sociable.
Yeah, even though they're from different races or cultures. And their classrooms are very child-friendly.
It was really good because we got to learn about each other and I got to learn about my buddy.
The children have worked with some of the adults to prepare this so that they can take it to Nelson Mandela and also to the Trust as well.
We're going to do regular emailing with them, and we're going to do video calls, and we're going to get in touch with them on the phone, and we're going to try and visit them again, and they can visit our school regularly if they want.
Can we just say then, Newlands, one great last big thank you and a round of applause for the children and adults from Birchfield Community School.
So did it change me? It did. The South Africa visit and the context seminar changed really the focus of my energy as a person, as an individual. You know, and I think that's had a knock-on effect and an impact in terms of promoting community cohesion and promoting the kind of things that we've done today in school.
They empathise, and they will actually challenge other people's perspectives now, whereas previously they wouldn't have done that at all. They would have just accepted what they'd been told.
What else do you guys think? Any other words that come to mind?
By looking at the schools overseas with a very, very contrasting culture and background, you finish up spending more time reflecting on yourselves.
We can send films and stuff.
That is quite a mature thing to be able to do, is actually to put your hands up and say, yeah, I got that wrong, or I've misunderstood something. But they have done that, and they have reflected on what they've learnt and what they've taken away from the project.